Hello, this is Agni. I am coming to you from the lands of the Chehalis, Chinook, Shoalwater Bay, and Quinault peoples, also known as Aberdeen, Washington, right on the coast in the middle of Washington State, United States. And I have a short announcement, and I'm hoping you stick around to watch the whole thing. First of all, if you're watching this, you probably already know me, but just by way of introduction, I am a vegan designer who lives and works here. I create zero waste garments. I am also a grad student with Claremont Theology School of Theology and Arihanta Institute. I just finished my first year in a master's of Jain Studies with a concentration in veganism, animals, and ecology. I also have a yoga project here that I've built. It's the only vegan brick and mortar and the only, as far as I know, queer-led yoga business in Grays Harbor. And I volunteer at the Cultivating Roots Community Garden on a weekly basis. I volunteer in the recovery community, primarily in a technical capacity. I keep the schedule and the website vibrant and working for a local recovery group. I also am the vice president of the board for the Dispute Resolution Center of Grace Harbor and Pacific counties. And I get up to a lot of other malarkey, including a horror podcast, by the way. Shout out to Tim if you're watching this. Tim, my dear friend Tim. Um, I I guess this is actually kind of a tricky video for me to make, but my goal is to keep it short. So please stick with me. I have not rehearsed this. I am speaking from the heart. So I did come out as non-binary in 2021, but what you probably don't know is that for almost, geez, 8 or 9 years, I've been in some Facebook groups before I came out. And for most of my life, I have longed for a different gender expression than the body that you might see if you see me in public in person. And to that effect, I have scheduled a gender confirming surgery for early June. This video is to talk a tiny bit about that and to also ask for some support during this time. Another thing you may not know is I did unfortunately have a surgical trauma in September of 2021. I had a minor kidney procedure. It was something I'd done before, not related to gender, as far as I know. And something went wrong, and I had 11 days of torture and trauma. It was very awful. And when I knew I wanted to get gender confirming surgery, I knew I couldn't do it because of my fear of surgery, just straight up without going into detail, my fear of surgery. So, in the last few years, I did everything I could to recover from the trauma of 2021. One of the things I did that seemed to help me the most was therapy with a particular therapist with a particular mode of therapy, and that led me to be able to schedule this surgery. That said, I am very nervous, probably like a lot more nervous than you might think about this upcoming surgery. It's a pretty big surgery. I'm also worried for my partner. Unfortunately, my partner had to, well, I mean, he wouldn't say unfortunately, but he was with me in 2021 and he was also traumatized by what happened to me. And so it took me a while to be willing to schedule the surgery because I knew it would be scary for him to watch me go through something painful and to recover. So I am making this video in hopes of essentially three types of support. One type of support, the most helpful type of support, would be if you are able to sign up on a meal calendar. We have, I think, 6 weeks of meals every other day. That would help us tremendously. It's just the two of us, my partner and I. My best friend Anne Marie has built and is maintaining the calendar. She's the most organized and sweet and lovely person on the planet. And I thank you, Anne Marie, for that. So Meal Train is really self-explanatory. We're pretty easy to please. And it would help us tremendously. And that's the best way you could support the Hogabooms right now. The second way you can support me, especially if you're not able to deliver a meal, like we don't have DoorDash, like really where I live. We have it, but not really for vegans. The second way you could support is I think the Meal Train page has a donation amount that you could add. I am definitely going to be missing a lot of wages. I am a working class artist and activist and volunteer and creator. So any dollar donation, I'm talking $3, I'm talking $300, like anything at all would be tremendously helpful. We do have to pay for this surgery. And like I said, I'm going to miss wages and life's going to be harder. If you are not able to provide either of those means of support, just any TLC comments, any hearts, anything you have to say will be so helpful, especially in the days leading up to this surgery in early June and the early days as I recover. So it goes without saying, or maybe you don't know this, but I have devoted tremendous amounts of love, energy, intelligence, activism, organization to the LGBTQ community. And I almost didn't tell anyone about this surgery, but I realized that I have to be public about this because the LGBTQ community, but especially trans and gender nonconforming people are literally under legislative, social, familial, like all kinds of adversities and attacks. Some of them are really, really frightening. And we're once again, I think, having the sixth year in a row of increased anti-trans legislation. And in fact, the number has exponentially skyrocketed. Um, so I didn't want to just scuttle away and do this privately. I wanted to do this publicly. It is hard to be public about this in this era because I fear a lot of things, but one thing I fear is asking for help and not getting it. But I know that according to my principles, it's the right thing to do. So thank you for watching this video. If you have watched the whole video, thank you so much, because if nothing else, you understand a bit more about me and where I'm coming from. And for anyone who can sign up to be a part of our meal train, and for anyone who can donate or so give us some funds, and for anyone who can write a little TLC and anywhere you're seeing this video, thank you so much. And please wish me luck if you pray or meditate or chant or send vibes or anything like that. Please have me in your heart, because this is very, very scary for me. And I am so nervy about it, but I also am really excited and hoping for the best. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you are having a delightful spring, and I will talk to you and see you soon, I hope. Okay, thanks.